So which is the namespace for the API controller base class. Okay, so when you inherit this API controller base class, the class will be become, or it will be act as a API controller. Okay, so this it is just a class again, public class name, and it will have several methods. Within the methods, you can write the HTTP methods directly. So what are the HTTP methods differently? HTTP get, HTTP post, put, delete, so and so. Okay, so when you give the name which is similar to the HTTP method, that is called HTTP get or only get, nothing but get. Okay, so when you give this, you need not to mention that in the routing time. So what is the routing for web API? You need to give a prefix always API, okay, and the controller name, and you need not to mention the action name, even it is not index. Okay, what we learn in MVC, if it is in an index, that will be a default action name we need not to give. But here in web API, if it is a get, post, put, delete, something like HTTP method names, then you need not to mention that. Okay, based on the requestor, like if he is requesting for the HTTP get operation, it will be directly hit. Okay, if he is requesting for the post operation, if you write post method, that will be directly hit. Okay, so then the URL will be only API/default. That's all. Okay, now let's run this and just recheck what I'm trying to say. Mm. And the return type of this one can be a plain text, or can be an XML, or can be a JSON. Okay, so what is JSON? It's a kind of a data transformation. There is nothing but JavaScript object notation. So
/API.
yeah, slash API slash default. Okay, this one. Okay, so this is called um, HTTP routing. Okay, in web API. So let me run the same. Why this is coming in the XML format? Because the Chrome is always requesting the content type as application/XML. And the Fiddler tool, it is again another tool, debugger tool. Why this topic is that? We can uncheck the topic capturing, and you can remove that. So to otherwise it will be unnecessarily catch a lot of HTTP calls. Okay, so it's just a HTTP debugger. Okay, so with using this debugger also we can able to call our web APIs, web API methods. Okay, so we need to click the composer, and I pasted the URL here. So what is that URL? With the domain name /API is the prefix and the controller name. Okay, so because of I selected it as a get method, so it will be directly hit the, it should directly hit the get method, and it will always expect by default in the JSON format. That's why we will able to see the result in JSON format. See, this is JSON format. So I think till here we had discussed yesterday. JSON, my first API method call. Okay, so it's fine now. And now let's go and let us give some parameters. Okay, so what will be the parameters? An integer I. Otherwise I'll write something different. Right, in a moment. let's create a global variable that is nothing but list of some complexity I'm just creating and with some user defined data. So list of what I'm trying to do here, list of string. Okay. Sorry, new list of, you need to write like this, right? కళ్యాణ్ ఎవరో మీకు తెలుసా? కళ్యాణ్
అతను రెజ్యూమ్ పంపిమని మొన్న కాల్ చేసిన ఆయన.
ఓకే,
ఆయన కుమార్ తెలియదు అన్న.
మన కోడేస్కే వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. నిన్న ఎవరో జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారు, వీళ్ళేనా జాయిన్ అవుతుంది లేదని చెప్పేసి నాకు మెయిల్ పెట్టారనమాట. సరే, ఓకే, లెట్స్ సే దట్ ఇక్కడ ఇంటీజర్ ఇస్తే ఎట్లా కెన్ వి గెట్ ఫ్రమ్ ఇంటీజర్ PNB నేమ్స్ PNB నేమ్. ఓకే, సో ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? 3 2 5 కదా. ఓకే, సో లెట్స్ సపోజ్ ఏది ఇస్తే అది వచ్చినట్టు రాద్దాం ఇక్కడ. It should be a string, right? What is saying? Return type return type var name equals to, yeah, that's fine. Okay. And if id greater equals to 0 and id less than 6, right? 1 2 3 4 5, yes. Yes. Okay. The scope will be, if you are writing like this, the scope will be the name scope will be within the C block only. So what I need to do, string name equals to string dot empty. Okay, now I will just remove this and I should write the name here. Right, it's a basic thing. The scope of the variable will be within these braces. That might be a for loop, that might be a while loop, if loop, else loop, ఎక్కడైనా సరే అంతే కదా. ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ ఈవెన్ రైటింగ్ దిస్ ఈ లూప్లోనే ఉంటుంది ఆ స్కోప్. ద నేమ్ స్కోప్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది, ఈ లూప్లోనే ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ రైటింగ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ది మెథడ్స్ ఇట్ విల్ బి విత్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్, రైట్. సో అట్లా. సో లెట్స్ ట్రై టు రన్ దిస్. మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఏముంది, ఒక పారామీటర్ యాడ్ అయింది, రైట్. సో ఇట్ షుడ్ బి so when you add a parameter, the routing API/controller/parameter, that's all. You need to mention the action in here. Okay, so I'm giving 2 here. It's a positive data. I should get the name as Hari. Okay, that's this is the behavior with only a single parameter. Let me write 3 here. And I can do the same. And the employee name is Swave. Interesting, right? Now let's give 8. It will not throw any error because we have managed from our code. Please enter valid index, right? So let's do one thing. In the composer, till that it is understandable, right? Now what I'm trying to do is I am just making this as a post method. So let's see, will it work out? We have written a get action in the controller, but I'm trying to call this URL with HTTP post type. We'll get some error. Okay, method not allowed. Okay, because it's a get method. You are trying to call that as a post method. So it will not be allowed. I will write some more parameters here. String something here, expecting some return type also. String let's suppose let's write here is okay is, and you are trying to say that employee name is this, and okay. So let's think this is a scenario like there are 2 parameters you require, and you will use the same get operation, get method. Okay, so how it will be accessible now? Okay, Okay, as it's a string, like what I given string is an integer. String is an integer is the 1 moment. I'll show you in a moment what is string is also. But let's take two parameters as integer only. Okay, I'm sending the parameter, next parameter like this. So what it is saying? The resource you are looking for has been removed, had its name changed, or it's temporarily unavailable. Why? So the second parameter, whenever it comes to the picture, you can write that total URL. So when you are calling a parameters, it is nothing but like MVC, it will take them as a query string. ID equals to 2 ampersand is equals to 23. See, now it's coming, right? So you should mention the second parameter like this. The same you will be able to see from here also. I need to select post method, sorry, get method. There is output, yes. Employee name array and the age is 23. Okay, so we are done with by taking two integers as input parameters. Okay, now let's take a string. Okay, you can take the third parameter as string, and it can be a designation. Okay, so this is called the employee's designation. I'm calling this method and with adding an extra parameter. Okay, so I'll run again this. And designation plus 2. You need to mention quotations here, okay, because it's a string. Senior developer I'm giving, so it should give me the output as employee name and the respective data. Okay, I need to go for Fiddler again, and the same output you will be see, but it is in the JSON format. So till now I guess you understand with different parameters, right? So let's go on quickly add two more methods. So one is post and another one might be a delete. Okay, public. It can be written a string again, or it can written a list of string. Okay, so it's a post method. and which is expecting a string name. Okay, so I want to add employee names into this emp names list. Okay, so emp names dot add of that name parameter I need to pass here, so that it will add. Once it was added, I need to return the same emp names. Okay, so if you try to call this method, so what is the how to call this method? You need to write API slash default, right? Because I don't need to mention this method name. There is nothing but action name. Okay, so I will not give any post method name as in this URL, right? So if you observe, then both URLs will be same, right? API slash default, and here also API slash default. Okay, but how the application, this application will ensure that it will be come to this method only when you are required get operation, and it will come to this method only when you are clicking the post operation. How can anyone tell? Are you there?
ఐడియా
Hmm.
అంటే ఫిడ్లర్ లో అయితే అక్కడ పోస్ట్ అని సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటాం, మరి ఇక్కడ బ్రౌజర్ లో అయితే ఐడియా లేదు.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ, యువర్ ఆన్సర్ ఇస్ కరెక్ట్. సో బ్రౌజర్ లో వచ్చేసి మనం దాన్ని చేంజ్ చేయలేము అనమాట. సో బ్రౌజర్ విల్ బి ఆల్వేస్ గెట్ ఆపరేషన్. సో సారీ, అండ్ we need to go for a fiddler, and the fiddler we need to select post method. That's all. So this is what I'm expecting. Okay, so I'm going back, I'm just running. The మనం ఈ వెబ్ API కన్జ్యూమ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే it should be always in running mode. So that's why I'm running this. Okay, now it's in running mode, even though we got error, but it is in running mode. So let's try from the browser also whether it will work or not. So I'm giving name equals to Krishna. Let's see. The request resource does not support HTTP method get. Okay, that means whatever you are requesting that will not support get method. Okay, it will go for the routing and it will see, okay, name attribute is there, that means name parameter is there, so I need to call this method, but that method is in the post type, right? So the post types cannot be accessible by this Chrome browser in a default manner. So what you need to do then? That means a Chrome browser will not support post or something like that. It's not something like that. Okay, Chrome browser definitely should support all the types, but how? It is not from the URL. Okay, we need to write some custom code in the web page. Okay, till now what we are doing, we are just calling the methods by using the address bar only. Okay, but we will see in our later sections, we will be able to call from our content view. I mean, at least we will design something. We will have a text boxes, button. We will click that button, then it will hit the methods. Okay, at that moment, that might be any browser, Chrome or IE or Mozilla, it should work because we are writing some custom logic. Okay, so then Chrome browser will definitely support all the method types. But what I am currently saying you is, from the address bar, when you are typing the URL and enter, when you are entering and clicking the URL, only it will get methods, it will be supported. Okay, so there is no restriction from the Chrome browser other URLs, other action types. I hope you understand that. What I'm trying to say. Let's go to Composer again. Copy it now. Name. Krishna. Okay, again I'm clicking that only for our understanding whether it will be directly, whether this tool may have that capability or not. Let's check that. Okay, exit. So it should not work. The same error we should see. Okay, so we need to click post action. Okay, and I'm clicking execute. See, our response result was 200. 200 means it's success. Okay, let's see the output. ఇది కొంచెం లేపు. Yeah. Okay, so we are able to see the output in the JSON format, right? So let's see the same output. Yesterday we have seen only the string output, right? Now it's looking like a complex object, enumerator operator, list of string. So I want to see that application type, sorry, content type, oh what I'm trying to say here, content type, application/XML. Okay, so let's give some other name here. Ranjit Rashnu. Okay, let's call Ranjit. Okay, so Ranjit post method application/XML. Next looking execute. What it's trying to say, it's 400. Why? Bad request. Okay.
నా మీరు స్ట్రింగ్ అది కొటేషన్ లో పెట్టలేదు.
Okay. Let's give it in the single quotation. Same. So that means we need to give in the double quotation. Content and content type application/XML. I think that we need to give in the request body level. And the get request body current to the option. So when you are posting, the types we need to mention. Let's see how it works. Yeah, so that is the correct. So posting, we are posting through query string only, right? So but when we are requesting, so we need to mention the request body, and the type we need to mention the request body itself. So that is nothing but content type. I am saying it should be in the applications/XML. XML output I am expecting. So application. Oh, seems like it is in JSON format లో వస్తుంది. Any views? API application slash section content type package body. Okay. Designation. ఇదే కదా మన డెసిగ్నేషన్. ఇక్కడ వర్క్ చేస్తుంది కదా. సో కంటెంట్ టైప్ అప్లికేషన్. ఏమైతుంది అబ్బాయి నిన్న పని చేసింది. ఎక్కడ తప్పు రాసిన కంటెంట్ టైప్ కాలం పెట్టాలి. ఏం పెట్టినా ఈక్వల్స్ పెడుతున్నా. ఇందాక కూడా అంతే పెట్టినా. పోస్ట్ అప్పుడు కూడా అంతే పెట్టినా. మరి అయినా ఇక్కడ but still you are seeing in the JSON format. Why I am not able to see that? Okay. So it's a post with done. JSON అయితే వస్తుంది. But let's see. Composer పెట్టేసి ఇక్కడ కాలానే ఉంది కదా. కాలానే ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది. సో సమ్ ఏదో ఎక్స్ట్రా కాలం వచ్చింది కదా ఇందాక. అబ్జర్వ్. ఓకే, ఐమ్ జస్ట్ రిపీటింగ్. లెట్స్ సీ వాట్ ఇట్ వాస్. సో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసి ఒకటి మనం చేసిన మిస్టేక్ ఐ గెస్ equals to item, okay, it should be colon, okay, and there is some semicolon on the intro, okay, so I just remove that. This should be the actual syntax, so that we are able to see the output, and it was added, and we are able to see in the XML format also, right? And JSON, it will not give you any JSON value because we selected explicitly it with XML request. Let's quickly so let's quickly click JSON. Okay, let me see the JSON format also. See, I'm able to see the JSON values also. Okay, that is what I'm trying to say. It's working now. Now let's go back to our post method. You are able to understand, right? So what is post method? Okay. Now public string. Okay, so let's take same get name, okay, without parameters. Return simple get action without parameters. So let's see how it will work. Will it work first of all? So if you are not passing any parameters, it should give you the output as simple get action without parameters. Okay. So with this, you are able to say, like we are able to achieve this method overloading concept, right? So two methods have the same names and the parameters are different. Got it? Get and get. So this is called method overloading. Let's run again that one also. What is that one? There, designation. Both are working. You need to call like this. I'm just modifying this color, right? It's fine. Now here you need to write. Okay, anyhow it will not work from the browser. So you need to write definitely that in the Fiddler tool, some tool. Not only Fiddler tool, there are lots of debugging tools. Okay, so the best one, like I was used till now, is Fiddler. So I am just demonstrating on Fiddler tool. So there are lots of other tools also. You can go with them. Get key. What we will write? API / default. Okay, it's a get operation. Now let's see. Let's try to delete something. Okay, so how to delete? When you write public, again you want to return list of string delete. Full name I need to give. Okay. So on what basis you want to delete? ID. Oh, int ID. Sorry, int ID. EMP names equal to EMP names dot remove at the index we need to mention. Okay. So the same logic you can write here. Yeah. I'm just writing just because to validate the index ID value. Okay. So now what is my intention? I want to hold this EMP names after deleted. Right. So what it is saying, remove it void. So it will not return you anything. So once it is removed, it's and the output is same. It should be return EMP names. String. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? When you pass some ID, okay, index, nothing but index, so it need to be deleted from the list of array. So when the index value is greater than 0 and less than 6, then only it should remove. Otherwise, it will throw error, right? So that's why I'm handling this. So instead of writing like this hard-coded values, okay, it's 0 is fine, but 6 is a hard-coded value. So what I can do is emp names dot length or count. So it should be less than the count and greater than or equals to the 0, right? So then only it should be deleted. So once if the index is not like that, I'm trying to return the actual one. Okay, and at the same time I will return at the end I will return emp names. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's build it. Same like post, you cannot access that from the what is this, Chrome browser. Okay, but let me show you that quickly. So to call this delete action, what is the URL? The API default is a controller name, and you need to mention the parameters. So what is the parameter name? ID. See, simple get action without parameters. What is this? Okay, so it is calling the get action. Get, not delete one. Okay. So now let's try to go on. Go to this fiddler. In the fiddler, you can say ID equals to 2 and I need to mention delete. Okay, so when you mention this as a delete, it will go for the delete method directly, and that's all. I'm just looking the execute button. Yes, I've seen that in the response is 200. You will be able to see that second index should be deleted. Second index means oh, the third record. So what is that? Hari, right? So Hari should be deleted from the list. It was deleted, right? So let's try to give some more value here. Same like post method how we tried. So if I give more than the index value, we just handle that in the code. So what we are expecting, whatever the list we have, we are getting that list, right? If you observe, Hari is back because we are not persisting the data here. We're just using some list. We're trying to do some operations against to the list. We're not saying that list will be maintained till your end of the session. Okay, it is a temporary holding. So that's why for the previous action it was deleted, and this action it will be again called the particular declaration. So with the declaration what we have mentioned, again it was mentioned with the Hari name. That's why we are able to see the record with Hari. Got it? If you actually deleted from the database and you are calling from the database, you should not see Hari. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
Get to, post to, put ఇంకోటి ఉంటుంది. సో ఒకసారి పుట్ పెట్టి నువ్వు రాయవస్తుంది. Stop it. పుట్ అంటే దేనికి వాడతామంటే జనరల్లీ when you are trying to update something within the existing data, okay, then you will go for the put. If existing data update here, you need to have two parameters here. One is integer index and the other one is name. Add కాదు Sandeep.
Sir.
We need to fetch some record and we need to update that. First ఏం చేస్తుంటే in ID తీసుకో.
Okay.
ఆ పుట్ కూడా PUT స్మాల్ తీసుకో. అంటే ఫస్ట్ ది క్యాపిటల్ ఎక్స్. ఓకే నా ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తావు నువ్వు ఆలోచించు లాజిక్ రా.
సో ఐడితోని యాడ్ చేయాలి కండిషన్ పెట్టాలి.
ఐడితో యాడ్ చేయడం కాదు. పుట్ దేనికి వాడతామంటే అప్డేట్ క్వరీ అనుకో. అప్డేట్ క్వరీ ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఇన్సర్ట్ క్వరీ. ఇన్సర్ట్ క్వరీ అప్పుడు పోస్ట్ వాడతాం అన్నమాట. ఓకే సో అప్డేట్ క్వరీ అంటే జనరల్గా ఏం చేస్తాం ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ రికార్డ్ని ఫెచ్ చేస్తాం దాన్ని మాడిఫై చేస్తాం. లెట్ సపోజ్ ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక సెకండ్ రికార్డ్ అంటే ఏముంది హరి రైట్. సో ఐ వాంట్ టు సీ ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ హరి కృష్ణ అనే చూడాలి నేను. సో ఐ నీడ్ టు ఫెచ్ హరీస్ రికార్డ్ అండ్ ఐ నీడ్ టు మాడిఫై ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ది లిస్ట్, నేమ్ ఇన్ ద లిస్ట్.
ఓకే
ఐడి లెస్ దాన్ పెట్టు. ఇన్సర్ట్ ఒకటి ఇన్సర్ట్
ఇన్సర్ట్ కాదనుకుంటా, అప్డేట్ చేయమన్నాను.
మోడిఫై అట్లా ఏమన్నా ఇది
మోడిఫై లేదు, యాడ్ ఉంది, యాడే అనుకుంటాను.
డైరెక్ట్ అప్డేట్ క్వరీ కోసం ఎదురుస్తున్నాం, అట్లా ఉండదు. సో యూ నీడ్ టు ఫెచ్ ద రికార్డ్ ఫస్ట్. I will be back in 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm back. See, we had an option element X, right? So what it will give?
The element and particular ID.
Just go on అంటే అక్కడికి వెళ్ళిపోయి దాని మీద అసలు ఏమొస్తుంది మీరు మౌస్ ఓవర్ చేసి అంటే సెలెక్ట్ చేయడానికి కింద డౌన్ యారో పెట్టేసి
ఎలిమెంట్ చేయండి.
ఇప్పుడు ఏమొస్తుంది? will give you a string. నేను అది ఆన్సర్ అనట్లేదు.
ఓకే, అర్థమైంది.
ఒక ఐడియా కోసం అట్లా ఏమొస్తుంది. అంటే దీంట్లో C# ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఏం చేయలేదు. ఇది ఒక C# ఆబ్జెక్ట్ నువ్వు మాడిఫై చేస్తున్నావు అంటే దీంట్లో వెబ్ API కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది ఏం లేదు. అంటే నేను తీసుకున్న ఇప్పుడు జస్ట్ వీఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు మాడిఫై వన్ లిస్ట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్. దిస్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ సింపుల్ స్ట్రింగ్ లిస్ట్. ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎనీ కాంప్లెక్స్ లిస్ట్. Anyone else?
అక్కడ EMP నేమ్స్ డాట్ ఎలిమెంట్ అట్ ఐడి ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు నేమ్ అని లేకపోతే వస్తుందేమో.
ఐటమ్ వస్తుంది తర్వాత యూ నీడ్ టు మాడిఫై దట్. దెన్
అదే అన్న ఇప్పుడు నేమ్ అని ఇస్తాం కదా మనం, ఆ నేమ్ లో మాడిఫై అవుతుంది. అంటే ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ దగ్గర ఉన్న ఐటమ్ నేమ్ లో మాడిఫై అవుతుంది. ఆ నేమ్ ని మనము అక్కడ అప్డేట్ చేయాలి. ఐడి
గివ్ మీ 1 moment. సో కాంప్లెక్స్ ఎందుకు ఆలోచిస్తారు? ఇక్కడ ఇది ఉందా? సో యూ నీడ్ టు గివ్ దట్ ఐడి. ఓకే, సో యూ నీడ్ టు అప్డేట్ లైక్ దిస్. దట్స్ ఆల్. ఎట్లా అప్డేట్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు? అక్కడ నేమ్ ఏది వస్తే అది అప్డేట్ చేస్తారు. ఓకే, మై క్యాప్స్ లాక్ ఇస్ ఆన్ 1 minute. సో ఇంతే ఇంకా. ఓకే, సో వాట్ యూఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు డూ ఇస్ ఏఎంపీ నేమ్స్ ఏమైనా ఇండెక్స్లో ఇప్పుడు సెకండ్ ఇండెక్స్ వచ్చిందనుకో హరి ప్లేస్లో హరికృష్ణ అనేది మనం పాస్ చేస్తే ఆ హరికృష్ణ వచ్చేసి ఇక్కడ సేవ్ అయిపోతుంది, రైట్? సో దట్ ఏఎంపీ నేమ్స్ విల్ బి కమ్ హియర్. లెట్స్ సీ వెదర్ ఐ సెడ్ కరెక్ట్ ఆర్ నాట్.
యాడ్ అన్ ఆప్షన్ ఇచ్చిన అదే వద్దు కదన్న.
యాడ్ ఇంకోటి
యాడ్ ఆఫ్ ఐడి ఇచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా ఐడి నేమ్ లో ఐడి ప్లేస్ లో ఆ స్ట్రింగ్ పెడుతుంది కదా.
యాడ్ ఆఫ్ ఐడి కూడా ఉందా?
యాడ్ ఆఫ్ ఉంది కదా సార్, యాడ్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్.
ఒకసారి చూసి నేను మళ్ళీ నువ్వు చెప్పింది చూద్దాం. సో పుట్ కరెక్ట్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసినావు, ఇక్కడ ఐడి ఇచ్చినావు, అట్ ది సేమ్ టైమ్ యూ నీడ్ టు గివ్ నేమ్, రైట్? సో నేమ్ ఏం చేద్దాం? నేమ్ హరికృష్ణ. హరికృష్ణ. ఓహో, ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు గ్యాప్ ఉండాలంటే పర్సంటేజ్ 20% పెడతారు సంథింగ్. ఓకే, లెట్స్ ట్రై. స్పేసెస్ ఇస్తే ఇది తీసుకోవట్లేదు. అడ్జస్ట్మెంట్ ఐ గెస్ పర్సంటేజ్ 20% పెడతారు అనుకున్నాను నేను, బట్ లెట్స్ ట్రై వన్స్. సో తింటే కదా పుట్ ఐడి నేను ఇస్తున్నా. ఓకే, సో సక్సెస్ మిస్ వచ్చింది. we're able to see హరికృష్ణ, రైట్? బట్ పర్సంటేజ్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది అంటే మేబీ ఒక ఈ పర్సంటేజ్ తీసేయాలండి, లాస్ట్ పర్సంటేజ్. 1 moment. పర్సంటేజ్ తీసేసి పర్సంటేజ్ 20 ఒకటే పెడుతున్నా. హరికృష్ణ హరికృష్ణ పెడతా, అంటే మళ్ళీ అప్డేట్ అయిందో చూడాలి మనం. ఓకే, సో ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అని కొడితే సో ఐ షుడ్ సీ ద రిజల్ట్ అండ్ ఇట్ షుడ్ ఎస్ హరికృష్ణ పర్సంటేజ్ కూడా వెళ్తాను. So whenever we want to pass some space within the query string value, then you need to go for percentage 20. Okay, so that will give you, it's an ఏమంటారు దాన్ని, ఒక రీప్లేస్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ స్పేస్. కానీ దానికి పేరు ఉంటుంది, బట్ స్పేస్కి రీప్లేస్మెంట్. Okay, so our code is working now, right? So now let's go and see what you are trying to tell. Type J here, putting comment here. కొత్తది యాడ్ అవుతుంది. నువ్వు ఏది పాస్ చేస్తే అది ఉన్నది ఉన్నట్టు ఉంటుంది, ఇది కొత్తగా యాడ్ చేస్తుంది, రైట్? యాడ్ అంటే
ఓకే, అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఫస్ట్ ఐడి ఇస్తాం కదా, సో అక్కడ రిప్లేస్ వద్దు కావచ్చు అనుకుంటున్నాం. ఓకే అండి,
మనం ఐడి ఇవ్వడానికి ఆప్షనే ఉండదు దీంట్లో. ఓకే, సో లెట్స్ రిమూవ్ దిస్. ఓకే, సో టిల్ హియర్ ఇట్స్. సో దీన్ని బట్టి మీరు చూస్తుంటే మీరు యూ నీడ్ టు బి some more brushing on technologies is required in C#. Okay, brush up call మీరు. Okay, so put post delete అన్ని చేసినాం కదా. So let me say one thing here, like what is routing, which kind of routing it was used here. Okay, so let me show you that. So map HTTP route. ఈ HTTP routing అనేది మనకి యూజ్ అయింది అనమాట. సో దేర్ ఆర్ 2 kinds of routing in web API. Okay, so till now we discussed about HTTP routing. Okay, so the other routing is attribute routing. So we did not look into that yet. We'll look into that in a few moments. Okay, so let's again discuss about what is HTTP routing. So when you say like the action methods names will be similar to HTTP methods, nothing but get, post, put, delete. Okay, then it will be called HTTP routing, and the routing URL routing template will be API / controller name / the parameters. Okay, and you need to remember the syntax because it's a kind of again interview question. So what is the difference between MVC routing and this routing? Okay, so you need to say like it will support HTTP routing, and it will have that like root template, and the defaults are like this, and it doesn't have any action here because our actions are nothing but the HTTP methods. So when you go to the HTTP routing, so to enable the HTTP routing, so we will say configure.map HTTP attribute routes. So let me show you one thing. If I comment out this, okay, so still our code should work because we did not use HTTP attribute routing till now. Let me run this. The comment is no, so it should not affect our present code. So it's running URL on the right, so I'm just clicking this. I should get the same message. Simply get, yeah. I'm able to see the output, right? If you want, we will just go to the fiddler and also we'll modify something in the same. Let's move that back to creation method. Okay, so executing it should work now. See, we are getting the output and the name is Harikrishna because there is no change even you commented that HTTP attribute routing because we did not use this routing yet. Now let's use before that let's comment out this whether it will also give any blocker to our execution. Okay, I commented out this one also. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, so it's running now. Let's go and refresh this first one. It's not working. Why? Because we have not specified any default routing. Okay, so we need to specify HTTP routing, and map HTTP routing is the method within the config.routes. So what is the config? It is a HTTP configuration. Okay, so when your URL is calling hitting, so it will go for this HTTP configuration, and you will able to use one parameter within the HTTP configuration as a config, and in the config there are some routes table. Okay, so within the routes table you are just mapping the URL routing. So for which URL, which action should be fired. Okay, your control K, okay, it's running right. Yeah, so we're able to see the route and it's a name map HTTP route lo ఏమేం parameters ఉన్నాయి చూడండి ఒకసారి. String name, string route template, object, defaults. Okay, so if you we need to specify 3 parameters again here, right? So the first one is string name. You are mentioning this as a default API. Okay, you need to change anything here. Sorry, web API routing. Okay, so let's see whether it will be work or not. And the route template you are saying is API/controller/ID. I'm just running again. Let's check one by one. Okay, సో మనం నేమ్ చేంజ్ చేసినాం. ఇంతకుముందు ఏముంది, డిఫాల్ట్ ఏపీఐ అనేది ఉంది. సో అది అలానే ఉండాలా, వీ కెన్ చేంజ్ అనేది చూద్దాం. Yeah, now it's running, right? So let's refresh it. We are able to see the output. Okay, so that means the name can be anything, not only web API routing. Here you can mention your maybe application name. If you are working on some client application, the client is Amazon or something, let's suppose. Okay, Amazon specified routing. You can give your own name. Okay, that is what my intention. And let's see what is the route template. So the route template here itself, it is saying that it will have some API prefix, the after domain name. So what is the domain name for our web API application at this moment? So this is called domain. I mean, in this port 59456 port, our application is running in our local machine. Okay. So later, that till here a domain name will be replaced. Okay. Later, what you need to give the URL, API is the prefix. See, you are mentioning API as a hard-coded value here. Now let's try to give some other name, whether it will work or not. Let's see. I want to give web API. Okay, web API. And here these braces is nothing but the actual controller name, whichever you are mentioning in the URL. Okay, so it will be go and see in the controller folder, so whether there is a particular controller is there or not. So you are giving in the URL default, so it will fetch this default controller. Okay, so and again you are mentioning ID. So ID means in the parameters you will write in the URL you will write some query string with ID, right? So the ID again it will fetch the respective action method based on the IDs, right? So we have seen two different methods. One is get with without parameters. One is with parameters, with three parameters. If you pass those three parameters, then it will be then only it will be called. Otherwise, it will not be called. But if you don't pass any parameter, or if you at least pass one single parameter also, you will able to see the output like this. If you observe this, we are passing one parameter, but you are able to. If you observe in our code, there is no method get with one single parameter, right? Get a one moment. Yeah. See, we have two methods here. Get right. Ikkademo three parameters unnai. Ikkademo no parameter, right? But still we are able to see the output because it will be check whether there are particularly ID only. I mean only one parameterized method or not. Otherwise, it will be taken as a optional parameter. See how it is working as optional parameter. Because the defaults are saying new ID route parameter dot optional. Okay, that is the reason it is working. Now we just modified the prefix without API. I am just given some more prefix as web API should be the prefix. Let's try to run again with web API. Okay, so come back here. So let's run with this URL, same URL. So again it is showing 404 error. Okay, because that particular route template, it was not identified with API. Now if I give web API, it should work, right? So what we understand with this, so API is not required always. You can write your own custom URL prefix. Instead of API, you can mention in your application based on the module name. You can mention the module name, or whatever your application supports. You can give that name. Okay, or simply API also you can give. That means it's again user specified. Are you getting this? Yeah. So now let's try with some other. So can we write some other map HTTP attribute? Yes, we can write with a different name. We can write app routing to one. Okay, so it's a different one. Again, I should see this as API. Okay, the controller ID, all these are same. Okay, and what my intention is now at this moment, I want to see. Okay, let me show you one thing before writing this. I'm just running again. I want to show you something. We have three options here, three parameters here, right? In the get method, ID, name, and designation, right? So with only ID, if you are passing, but it is ignoring this ID, and it is able to execute the parameterless get method, right? So what my intention is, ID తీసేసినా కానీ it will work same, right? So now నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏం చెప్తున్నా అంటే, if you recollect, one moment, yeah, ID పెడితే కూడా అదేం చేస్తుంది, సేమ్ పారామీటర్ లెస్తే పనిచేస్తుంది. But there are three parameters. Now I will give second parameter. Name కదా second parameter, yes, name. Okay, some XYZ అని ఇద్దాం. Okay, let's see whether it will work or not. Same get parameter work అవుతుంది, right? So ఇప్పుడు ఇంకోటి డెసిగ్నేషన్. ఏమి డెసిగ్నేషన్ కరెక్టేనా? ఐడి
ఏజ్ అన్న నేను నేమ్ ఇచ్చారు అక్కడ.
ఏజ్, ఓకే. ఏజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు సేమ్ డిజిట్. ఓకే, సో ఇట్స్ ఫైన్. We're able to see. So with when you pass exactly the three parameters, then it is calling three parameters method, right? So that's why it is executing. Now let's write some different configuration. Okay, and you are giving that API routing to, and it's normal API only. Okay, controller ID. Okay, ID optional. I'm trying to say noise. Okay. Route parameter dot option. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, let's run again. And I want to I want to give this URL with the API, right? That's what. It's running now, right? So let's give without web. If I give, will it work or not? It should work both with web API and web without API. Sorry, without web API also it should work because we specified two different routings, right? So with two different routings, it will work now. I mean, two different URLs we can mention for the same action method. I'm just giving again the hint. Okay, so it's web API and you are mentioning see, you are able to give anything. You can call the same action method with two different URLs. And you can mention two parameters also optional. Okay, so like this we need to mention. I just want to tell you there are certain behaviors within the web API. So you can mention two routings and you can call the same action method with two different URLs, and you can mention one or more parameters. To mention the other parameters, you need to give some other slash at the end of this first parameter, and you need to mention that within these braces. Okay, so likewise this routing will be work. Any doubts here?
No.
ఓకే సో ఇవి కొంచెం ఎట్లా అంటే చూడడానికి సింపుల్ ఉంటుంది కానీ బట్ దేర్ ఆర్ లాట్స్ ఆఫ్ అదర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. సో వాట్ యూ డూ ఇస్ యూ జస్ట్ ట్రై టు క్రియేట్ యువర్ ఓన్ అప్లికేషన్, వెబ్ API sample in your local machine and try to give different routings, try to execute HTTP GET, POST, అన్ని different methods ని ఇచ్చి మీరు ఒక శాంపిల్ చేయండి so that you will be easily understand. If you don't have a chance to do right now, you will forget definitely this one. Okay, because routing mechanism, it is a framework behavior. So you also install Fiddler or any debugger tool. Just type in the Google API debugger tool. Okay, so you will be able to see that. Lots of other tools. మనం రేపు దీని గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. మ్యాప్ హెచ్టిపి అట్రిబ్యూట్ రౌట్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, సో అదర్ రౌటింగ్ ఎట్లుంటుంది. సో టిల్ నో వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ సీన్ ఓన్లీ మనం కంట్రోల్లో ఏమి ఇచ్చినాం, హెచ్టిపి గెట్ పోస్ట్ ఇట్లాంటివి ఇచ్చినాం, రైట్? గెట్ పోస్ట్, గెట్ పుట్, డిలీట్, సమ్ ప్రీడిఫైన్డ్ మెథడ్ నేమ్స్ ఇచ్చినాం. ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు రైట్ సమ్ కస్టమ్ నేమ్ అంటే గెట్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ అని రావు నాకు ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, సేవ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ అని రావాలి, పోస్ట్ అని రాయకుండా. ఇక్కడ అప్డేట్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ అని రావాలి, ఇక్కడ డిలీట్ ఎంప్లాయీ అని రావాలి. దెన్ ఆల్సో ఇట్ షుడ్ వర్క్, మై కోడ్ షుడ్ వర్క్. మై ఓన్లీ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఇస్ ఐ వాంట్ టు చేంజ్ ద నేమ్స్, దెన్ హౌ ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్. అది మనం రేపు చూద్దాం. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ వరకు మీరు ఒకసారి క్లియర్గా ఉంటే సో దట్ వీ కెన్ గో ఆన్ సీ టుమారో. Difference between CRUD and get post put. CRUD get post put. CRUD nothing but it is doing the get post put. CRUD అంటే ఏంది అసలు? Create, read, update, delete, right? So create అంటే ఏం చేస్తున్నాం మనం? We are freshly creating a record. That is nothing but post. Okay. So read అంటే nothing but get operation. Okay. U అంటే update, put. D అంటే delete. That's all. So that CRUD is similar to this HTTP action methods. Fine. Okay, see you tomorrow. Let's bye.